Hello, everyone. Yes, you are welcome to tonight's live session. So, guys, there have been this outcry about the level of corruption in our institutions in Nigeria, and this really calls for worry. We have, a country where people assume that all the institutions, I mean, the key bodies, they've all been ravished by corruption. But before I share the video I intend to share with you guys, I just want us to quickly take a look at some of the headlines for harvest or even take out some of your produce from your farm. So all these things are really compounding the situation in Nigeria. And this government has not really taken any drastic measure in, ensuring that the agriculture ministry or aspect of the economy is being taken care of. Since they came in, we've not seen that move, to ensure that they empower some people. Because like Peter Obi canvassed during his campaign, he was saying that the North has, this large landmass that is still uncultivated. So it's an opportunity to empower the Northerners for them to like be the ones feeding the nation. We will have enough to eat, and then at the same time we'll still have some to export. Don't forget that in Nigeria today, you can't really export to European countries like that, because they will tell you that the standard of food in Nigeria does not meet their own standard. So people will want to like move their produce to Ghana, and then from Ghana they will ship it to, to the Western world, like to Europe. But I'm just hoping that they will see the need now that this information is out there. Let them see the need to start looking into the agricultural sector and see how they can boost food production in Nigeria. So this one looks a bit funny. Kidnappers now demanding packs of tramadol, mods, milk from victims in Ondo. Yeah, what is even worrisome is that this is happening in Ondo. So the question remains: is this coming from the Fulanis? Because when Buhari was there, people believed that it was the Fulanis who were coming through Kogi. Then they would then from there get to Ondo and commit some of the mayhem that they used to commit. Is it that it's still them who are doing this, or is it from the indigenes? How is this kidnapping going on in Ondo State? Nobody can tell. So I think this is also one of the things that they should look into and know why this is happening. But the funny aspect is that even the bandits themselves, they are hungry. They want all these things as a way to, the demand they are making from families of their victims. So they are equally hungry. The hunger is touching everybody. This one is a bit pathetic. Seeing what is here, Benue, carpenter orders beat a man to, they pied a man for allegedly stealing yam. So you can imagine that this can lead to this kind of incidents. It's really so pathetic, honestly. So yes, this one is another thing that has to give us a little concern. There've been speculation even before now. I saw it on some platforms, but I was not very sure. They said they couldn't, some people were lamenting that they couldn't access money, but it wasn't coming from Ondo State. This one is specifically narrowed to Ondo State. But generally, people have been lamenting that they went to banks, they couldn't really get their money, they couldn't cash their money. So one is asking, what is happening in our country? Nigerians, what is happening? Is it that if you have money there and you go to take it, you will not be able to see your money? Have we gotten to that point? I don't know what is really happening in Nigeria, honestly. And you see these are government officials, spending the way they are spending. Do you know one of the things that is even more bad about the spending they make is that some of this spending, some of this money are spent in euros, they are spent in dollars, they are spent in pounds, not even in the naira. So by the time they pay those people in those foreign currency, they will just like move that money out, or they are dealing with a foreign company, they pay them in dollar. You can imagine how that will be sucking into our economy. So now we are lacking funds. People are like lamenting that they can't really access their money from their own bank account, not even as if they are going to borrow from the banks. They want to get their money, but it's becoming difficult. So the times are really hard in Nigeria. The times we are in is really a very funny time. And this is one of the reasons why I will always say, let's put sentiments by the side, all this tribe and religion of a thing, and let's come together to talk about the future of this country. Because the people we have now, I don't think you can see that we have mostly the elderly, and these are people who have been in government for a very long time. Most of them have not even gone for any course. They've not gone for any training since they embarked on their political journey. They don't go to get refreshed. You've not seen them say, okay, the Senate is on recess, where I'm traveling to the US. I gained admission for like a 3 months course, a 6 months course. Let me go and refresh my memory. Some of them don't go out. You can't give what you don't have. You can't, you can't give what you don't have. So by the time somebody has been in the Senate for like 20 to 30 years, that's what some of them, how long some of them have stayed, and you have never gone for any refresher course, you've not undergone any training that will expose you to the trend, the current trend. Honestly, people like this are not supposed to be in governance. But when you look at the people that the president is working with, I made reference to the governor of Zamfara during the day when I was live on a live show like this. I was saying that this is a man that has been called out on how he mismanaged the state. At the end of the day, he's being given the position of the defense minister. Tell me with which knowledge somebody that could not even tame insecurity in his own state, he couldn't manage it well, he could not really give the people the benefit they needed, and today he's being promoted. So these are the kind of things we keep saying. Somebody yesterday said, Akpabio, if not for the kind of corrupt judiciary that we have, somebody like Mr. Akpabio is not supposed to be in the Senate, let alone being a Senate president, because he didn't participate in the primaries. We've seen Lawal, he didn't participate in the primaries. We've seen many of them like that didn't participate, but they are there because the judiciary allowed them to be there. When Mr. Lawal was asked, Rochas once said, Mr. Man, how did you do it? You need to teach us how you were able to come back, because we all were on the field vying for the presidential seat. But how you came back to the Senate remains a mystery. Can you please teach us, those of us who are, novice when it comes to how to kind of smuggle yourself back? You have to. He said, it's not me, it's the courts, the appeal courts, and my people want me back. My dear, can you imagine that kind of excuse? Can you imagine? He said, meaning that he was just sitting jail. He was just relaxing on his own. And then the Supreme Court now told him, Mr. Man, we have decided to call you back, even if you did not participate in these primaries. We found you worthy, as if these people are the only people existing in Nigeria. How long has he been in that Senate that APC is finding it difficult to let him go, so that another fresh mind, another fresh brain, another fresh blood will come into the system and see how he or she can, provide solution to some of the current challenges we're having. So tell me why we won't be having customers complaining, bank customers complaining, lamenting about Naira scarcity. So this one is going to even be the worst. It's no more Naira is sliding. This one is, you can't even see the Naira. You have need, and then you go to the bank to get your money, to attend to your need. You will not be able to get money. That one will be more alarming. I tell you, many Nigerians are depressed. I watched a video today of a ladies hangout where young ladies like 18, 20, 20, early 20s also, they had like a Christian conference, and some of them were testifying on how they've been depressed. I just like try to imagine if just this group of people, just this number of persons, you have this amount, or let me say these few ones that boldly came out to speak out. So you can imagine what the general public is going through. People are depressed. People are really, really, they are really, really suffering from depression. And honestly, the only solution this government has tried to provide to the Nigerian people is to tell them to bear with them, that they should tighten up their belts. They should learn to bear and suffer the consequence for once. But they themselves, they are not ready to bear with the Nigerian people. During the day, I reeled out some of the expenses that has been discovered, in some state websites, how much they are spending in buying cars, in eating their meals and all that. And there've been this outreach on how these people are managing the resources of the nation. They don't feel the pinch that Nigerian people are feeling. And that is why we need to ensure we elect people with empathy who will understand that Nigerians are really suffering. So the vice president is now charging the governors. I think possibly with some of this information, being made known to the public, they are now coming up with all this, that he's telling the governors to focus on agriculture. Now they are waking up, APC, after how many months of them coming into power, and just saying it verbally like that. I don't really think it's going to be of any effect, because I think this kind of action is supposed to come from the top, and then it will then come down to the governors, because we know the governors themselves, they are just there for their own interest too. So Nigerians, we are just left at the mercy of these politicians. Anyhow they want to do with us, let them do. But we are hoping that God will always make a way, because Nigeria cannot continue this way, honestly. We don't have capable hands in these leadership positions. Yaga Africa urges INEC to clean up bloated voters register. Nigerians, this is another topic. This is one of the issues that Mr. Oguchi has always talked about when it comes to Imo State. That when you go to Imo State, you may end up seeing a local government that does not even have a population of up to, maybe, let me just use like 500 for instance, but you find out that on the voters register you may get up to like 1 million people, both those that are from the north, from, I'm just using Imo State as a case study, those that are from the north, from maybe the west, southwest, and other places far away from the from Imo State. And you may end up seeing even children and underage people, and also even those that are no more existing on this planet Earth. Their names are still there. And most times, this is what they use in perpetrating some of the malpractices that they do during election. And we were thinking that this INEC chairman would be really, really playing with Nigerians when it comes to handling elections in Nigeria. When you look at the amount of money that was invested, in this electoral process, you will shiver, and you'll be wondering, why is it that these people don't even feel for this country? They will just spend that money, and that money will become useless, and nobody is talking about it. Today, all that the INEC chairman invested during the 2023 presidential election, they said they needed technology that led to BVAS, IREF, and all that, bringing in some of the those that are into all this web development, all the programmers, key people. And don't forget that they used Amazon web services. All these things are money, they paid for all these services. But at the end of the day, today now, the court has told us that you cannot depend on all those things in determining who won or who lose the election. So it means that all the investments now are gone. They are gone. And nobody is talking about it in the Senate. They are not talking about it because it favors the sitting or the ruling party. This is where we are calling the Labour Party representative on the floor of the Senate to speak up. Let there be these electoral reforms. Although even if our electoral reform is, if it receives a kind of touch, who is even going to uphold it during the election? INEC still has that authority to decide whatever they want to decide during an election. So this guy was on AIT, and he spoke extensively on the kind of corruption that we have in Nigeria, and that the thing has, like, has come down to the ordinary people. You can't even trust anybody. It's no longer just at the institutional level. It has now come down to the ordinary citizens. People are not trusting one another because it came from the top. It's now like coming down to the bottom. Everybody is feeling that lack of trust in the Nigerian society. And like we said, the president is busy traveling around the world looking for investors, looking for investors when you've not cleaned up the mess in your house. So I'm going to share this video with you. Just listen to what this guy said. I think it makes a lot of sense, and we must learn from it, and while we look for a way forward.
navigating a post-trust Nigeria. And my fundamental argument is that Nigeria is now a post-trust society, where trust, which is an essential component of any functional society, has completely gone out of the window. And you don't just find this with Inec. The same thing you complain about Inec, Judiciary, police. Name one institution or arm of government that you can indeed say that Nigerians can trust.
That is insulated from
this
corruption, weaknesses and all that?
There is none. And then, but only focusing on institutions alone will miss the equation. What is really happening? It's also happening that you cannot trust any component of the Nigerian society. You cannot trust your street lights, for instance. That when it says go, you have to look left and right to be sure that someone running against the traffic is not putting your life in jeopardy. You cannot trust your tailor. You can't say, I have a wedding next weekend that you're picking up your clothes. It can't happen. You have to start pursuing them. You can't even drop your cars at the mechanic today. You have to keep policing them to give your car the attention it needed. So in a system that you cannot trust, Nigerians, in my view, have found a way to navigate a post-trust society, because despite the fact that their tailors are not trustworthy, they still show up on the wedding dressing fine because they harass the tailor.
You bring the date forward for the tailor.
The same thing, we change it for mechanic people. We follow them. Sometimes, in fact, in Nigeria now, when they replace your parts, they will give you and show you old parts, and even at that. So Nigerians have found a way to get these things to work for us at an individual level. Why don't we do it at the institutional level?
Or a systemic level?
At the systemic level. So why you need it is that these institutions were designed on the fundamental assumptions that they were trustworthy. That was why Inec is supposed to go and do what they want or what can, and then give us results. The Judiciary is also supposed to go in, take their decisions, and give us the outcome. But now that trust has gone out of the window, we will give them our tailor treatment. We will give them the mechanic treatment. Why is this? On the presidential election day, February 25th, 2023, by 14 minutes past 1, Inec was... PM on the election day, as elections were ongoing, Inec was recruiting ad hoc staff in Anambra State. Did not have collation.
How did you reach this conclusion?
And we have the data.
Data from?
We have, it's on record, 14 minutes past 1. We can even give you invitation.
Oh my God. So guys, you've heard it for yourself. We have endemic corruption in our institutions, honestly. And why we should even be worried, because the people we have today in leadership positions, they are not ready to clean the system. They are not ready to clean up the system, honestly, because it's working in their own favor. It's working in their own favor. Do you know, during the election, during the presidential election, INEC started elections in areas they knew that the Labour Party was strong. They started in those areas very late. Very late. But areas, I mean states where they felt the APC was strong, they started earlier there. So you can imagine all these things. He was saying that in Anambra State, at past 1 o'clock in the afternoon, INEC was still hiring people. They were still hiring people for the election, that same election that was still being conducted that day. But they had shortage of staff. They were now hiring people at the dime minute. No preparation. This was happening in Anambra because it's a stronghold of the Labour Party. Honestly, we got it wrong this time. You know, having somebody like Mahmood in INEC, it was really one of the biggest mistakes that we made. Although it's not in our power to elect or to appoint somebody, Buhari had that opportunity to have changed this INEC chairman if really they meant well for Nigerians. And even up to today, this man is not being questioned, he's not being penalized. Nobody's talking about all that happened. The APC that they've given him like a pass mark that the election he conducted was the best. The best Nigeria has ever seen. And we've seen the judiciary, not even rebuking INEC, not even telling INEC to its face that you can't tell people that you'll be uploading results, and then at the middle of the road, you just like tell them that, not even telling us, you just decided that you won't again. And they never came out to like tell Nigerians on time and say, oh, we just changed our mind. There is an emergency, breaking news, we won't be uploading. They didn't. At the end of the day, they told us they had glitch. So when it comes to trust, it's really difficult. I've experienced that most times relating with fellow Nigerians, at the end of the day, you'll be betrayed. People find it difficult to stick to agreements. People find it difficult to stick to terms of, maybe anything you want to go in, you want to like partner with them. It's like it's now getting to the ordinary people. Personally, I've had such an experience, not even once. So the leadership is not showing us good example, and now the people below are like learning from them. INEC will tell you this in the morning, they will do something else. The judiciary will give you this signal that we are going to be transparent, we are going to deliver justice. At the end of the day, you will see it koro, that they are just like doing their own. Yesterday we spoke about the judgment that was given to the NNPC governor, that he was sacked orally, but when they issued him the judgment, the written form, the stamped form, the certified true copy, his victory was upheld. So when today they've been asked to return, I think since yesterday, they've even met the Minister for Justice to help them persuade the lawyers, to get this documents back. But it's not going to be easy. Even if they are going to get it, maybe it's the court that will mandate the lawyers to the governor to return it. But I think it's not something they can just say, give it to us, and then the lawyers will give it to them. But you can imagine that level of mistake, that they orally say, oh, you have to vacate that seat. But in the written form of the judgment, they told the man, you are the one that won the election. You can keep sitting on your seat as governor. So there's this corruption problem all over. And this is why this government has to start looking inwards if really they mean well for Nigerians. Clean up the system. Don't be going out to invite investors. They will not even listen to you. They may promise they are coming. You end up not seeing them. Because when they look at Nigeria, they just see a different picture. Look at people are hungry, and that is leading to crime and all kinds of things, all kinds of things happening. Young girls, you see like 13-year-old girls going into, prostitution and all that. So many things happening in Nigeria. So it's time for these people to clean up the system, make the system to start working if really they have idea on how to do it. The president once said he's not going to say his own idea in the public because he doesn't want people to steal it. So we are yet looking forward to seeing those ideas being implemented so that it can rescue the country from the mess we are into. So I want to share this video about what has been going on in Lagos. Honestly, I don't like talking about, things that has to do with tribe and all that, because I am a pan-Nigerian person. I am Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian from A to Z, as in when it comes to, divide Nigeria, I'm not in support of that. I want us to build a Nigeria of our dream, a Nigeria we all can be proud of, a Nigeria where if you are going out with your green passport, you'll be proud, you'll be bold. That's just my own desire. So when it comes to talking about some of the things happening, that is a kind of affecting the Igbo tribe, I don't always talk about it on this channel because some people may think that's my agenda. No, but I think this one has really drawn my attention on the way houses are being demolished in Lagos. Honestly, there is this one I saw today. I've been seeing these videos all along on Twitter and other social media platforms, but I never deemed it necessary to like bring up those topics. But when I saw this one today, the person who was recording this video was saying that these people were asked to vacate this building within the space of 2 hours. Nigerians, where does that happen? Where can such a thing happen? That you want to demolish somebody's house and you are asking the person to pack his or her things out of the building within the space of 2 hours. And this really broke my heart. I was like, God, what is this? Is there any other thing behind this? Or it's just that they say they built the house, on wrong places or places like canal where water is supposed to be passing, something like that. That's what I heard that is the main cause for this. But I think there is a way to really do things. So let me just allow you watch this video and then we'll come back to round up this session.
Just look at this mansion now. You won't believe that this house is going down. And they gave what any moment from now, this house is going down. This house is going down any moment from now. Just 2 hours to clear your property. Look at people. Look at people's property. Look at people's properties. Just look at. Everybody's rushing out. 2 hours to break down this mansion. 2 hours. This is unbelievable. Look at, and someone just paid 1.7 M and moved into this house not up to a month. Just look at this mansion. They want to raise down this building now. 2 hours to take out your properties. You can't believe this. Look at people's properties outside. Look at. 2 hours to move out of this house. 2 hours. This mansion. Just look at. Just negodego muibo. Negodego muibo. Afu mado tarata. Negoda afu mado taro no wa. Kedo diye biko. Kedu diye just look at negodo mansion mad. Negodo no mansion mad on actually kurieba. Kedu diye. Just look at 2 hours to move out. 2 hours to move out their property, and this mansion is going down. This building is going down right now. Oh God.
Honestly, my heart goes out to those that own this property, but I don't know. I don't really know how to comment on issues like this because possibly they were warned not to build on this section of this land, but they insisted. I can't say. Or my question remains: the people that approved this building, that approved the construction of this building on this particular plot of land, is it that this is not the only building? I think since last week there've been serious demolition going on. When you hear demolition, I mean serious ones. I've seen so many houses that have been, just that I saw this one today and I really felt bad. I really felt bad because they were given just 2 hours. You could see them trying to rush out their things because the way they demolish, once they start, they don't want to hear please, I beg. No, they will just keep demolition until everything is grounded. So I don't know how we got to this point. Is it that the people who are buying this plot of land, they don't make proper investigation? Or is it that the people selling it to them do deceive them? And those government bodies, the state government bodies that gives approval to buildings like this, is it that they don't come to see these places to say that, oh, you are not supposed to build here? Tell them from the scratch. From the onset, don't build on this portion of this land because it is maybe on the wrong, or like they've always said, is canal parts, as in where the water flows to the main canal. So people are not supposed to build here. So if the government knows that people are not supposed to build here, you put like a signal to say this land is not for sale and all that. So as to avoid anything, put a real government signboard or something like that, that is very, very strong and people cannot easily pull it out. So that people will know that, yes, this is not a place to buy land to start building. You can imagine this mansion. This mansion is huge. Who knows? Maybe this person must have borrowed money from the bank to fund this building. And today it's being demolished, possibly without any compensation. And then he will only be thinking about that. If he has children, he'll be thinking of, where do I keep my kids? Where do I keep my property? Where do I start from? How do I pay back the bank? And all that. There are a lot of things, going on at this point. And I think it's really pathetic that this kind of thing is happening, and happening mostly to the people, the Igbo people. And some people have attached it to what happened during the election because the Igbos voted massively for Peter Obi. So there is efforts, to frustrate the people, the Igbos. I don't know. That's the claim that people, I don't talk about tribe and all that on this channel. But this is what people have been saying, because this other day I shared with you guys Ladipo market that was closed. And they just came to the market and saw that that market was padlocked, I mean the gate. So somebody was videoing and was saying that each time they would just come and lock or close their market, and they would now start negotiating millions. And then when you pay, they will go to the other time it was Alaba. I think Alaba was some weeks ago. they closed it down, and after sometimes they open it, not just after one day or two, it will take some days. These are places people come to earn their living. So it's not as if they will close it today and you negotiate, then tomorrow they open it. They will shut down the market for some days. And then when they open it, before you know it, the other market has been closed. I don't know. I don't know if this is really because of the election. And, we're saying Buhari is the worst president Nigeria has ever experienced. I think Buhari is now seen to be a saint at this moment, because this kind of thing did not happen during his regime. And also the Igbo leaders, those of them in the House of Senate and the House of Rep and all that, they have to come out. The Igbo governors, they also have to speak up. They have to meet Babajide Sanwo-Olu, let them know what the problem is. And then if it means, if the case is that the Igbos are building on wrong portions of land, they should know how to communicate this to them so that they don't keep investing their money. Some of them living abroad, we send money home. You need to see what it takes to live abroad. You work like a monkey. You work hard to earn whatever dime you are sending home. And at the end of the day, it will just be demolished within a twinkling of an eye. This is really not looking good. So I think I felt this is good. It would be nice to like highlight this and also share it with you guys. Please drop your thoughts about this in the comments section. I watched a video of an Igbo guy who is into real estate. He was showcasing, he was the one that really discussed why these houses are being demolished, that they are obstructing the flow of, some of the flood water and all that. But somebody sold this land to them. I believe that the government approved it. They paid some of those money that you have to pay. Building today in Lagos is not like building 10 or 15 years ago. There are so many steps that you have to take before you even start building. So I believe that the government should be aware of all these constructions. Why is it that they are coming now after people have spent their money building? And also, this is also to tell the people, the Igbos, that they should also try to invest back home. Invest back home. When you go to places like even Onitsha, go and see the houses there. They are so old and looking so dirty and all that. People can just go home, even if you don't build in the city there, go and buy land in the east and start building. Once you get it in your area, I don't think you are under any threat. Your house can just be demolished within the space of 2 hours. Somebody can ask you to just pack out your things for them to destroy your house. People have also been making reference to Innocent, that had it been Innocent factory is in any other state, possibly by now he will be facing some challenges. They might just come one day and say, Innocent, where you built this thing is not allowed. So, and it's not as if they are paying compensation. That is even the worrying aspect. They are not paying compensation, and then the speed at which they will move into dismantling these houses is really the worst aspect, because people are not being given the opportunity to take away their things. So I don't know why this is happening, but I just pray that the governors from the southeast will see it as a necessity for them to speak with the governor of Lagos State. Let them know, if it's that they don't really want the Igbos, like people will say. I don't think Nigeria belongs to one person. Nigeria belongs to all of us. And some people are also saying that this being there is a seaport in the east or even in the south, maybe like in Akwa Ibom or Calabar, or even in Rivers State, if there is a seaport closer to the Igbos, it will be easy for them to do business in the east. For those that feel that it's just all about people, everybody wants to come to Lagos. There are people that are not even comfortable living in Lagos because of the stress that that they experience every day. But because of this seaport, the functional seaport is in Lagos, the functional airport is in Lagos. These are things that help businesses to thrive. So when these facilities are not found in the southeast, it makes it difficult for people to embark on their businesses. And then that is why everybody is like going to Lagos, and if you tell them now to go and dredge the sea in Akwa Ibom or Calabar or even in Rivers State, it will be difficult. Like this current president now, he will not really want to embark on that because he wants all eyes to be on Lagos. And when all eyes are on Lagos, you are attracting people to Lagos. And then when they come, you then start maltreating them because they didn't vote for you or because they are not joining your political party and all that. Nigerians, I don't know what you guys think about all this going on, but I think this is time for people to show leadership, if at all they have any leadership skills. Stop being the one dividing Nigeria. If these people built on a wrong part of the land, try to know a right way to communicate it to them. And if there is some compensation, at least money to rent a house for 1 month, and put your heads and that of your children before knowing what to do next is advisable. Instead of just throwing them out, should they be going down to the east now, or should they be looking for somebody to squat with? So guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. And this is all I have for you guys tonight. I want to appreciate your presence. Thank you so much. Let's see you again tomorrow. Good night. Sorry, Dr. Tell wasn't able to make it tonight, but possibly he will be available tomorrow. Thank you all for your support. Please like this video so that YouTube can recommend it to more people. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell for future updates, and let's build a stronger bond in this community. Thank you and bye. Good night.